Now that you are a professional at creating 3D shapes in augmented reality, my challenge to you is to create a table. So you can use whichever method you want. You can use the scene editor or do everything in code. It's entirely up to you, but I basically want to see 4 legs and the top board of the table. Also, try and make it look like it's on the floor as much as possible. Good luck. Okay, so how did that go? Let's have a look at how we can do this using the scene editor, as I think it's going to be a lot easier and quicker to do it with the scene editor. So first of all, we can create a new file. We have a new SceneKit scene.scn, so I'm going to rename this table here. And in my view controller, I am going to call this table. So named, and here we can pass our art.scn assets / table.scn. Okay, so let's go back to this table.scn. Ooh, there's an error somewhere. This could crash because I could make a typo, so I have to unwrap because I'm pretty sure that this does exist. Let's go to the table.scn, and as you can see in here we have a camera. It looks very gray. This is the basic SceneKit scene. So first of all, we don't need a camera because obviously the camera is the iPhone's camera itself. We don't need a virtual one, we have a physical one. Then first of all, we are going to add just an empty node, like in code when we create empty nodes. So let's just add it in here, and I'm going to call this table. Okay, let's add a position, so 0, 0, 0. And then in there we can now add our box to create the shape of the board, and also we will add some cylinders like this to do the legs. Okay, so first, I don't really like this gray, so if you select any of these, we can go here in the scene inspector, and you can see we can select a procedural sky as the background here. So this is not going to reflect obviously anything in the real app because the background is going to be the camera feed around you. But it's just nicer and easier for us to see what we're doing in here. Also, we can add a light, so I'm going to do directional light and change the angle down a little bit like this, so it was about 45. Let's just check. Yeah, about 45, minus 45. So we can leave it like this. It's fine. And then we had another light, so the ambient, which had a color. Actually, you know what? I'm not going to add those because we've got them in code, and I'm just going to keep them, add lights, but I'm not going to create the shapes. I'm going to use the shapes in the scene editor and keep the lights as I've got them already in code. So let's go back in here. And so first of all, here my table is going to be 1.2 meter wide, is going to be 7 centimeter high, and 0.8, so 80 centimeter in length. And then my legs are going to be 0.7, so 70 centimeter high, and the radius is going to be a lot less. Let's see what it looks like if I reduce about this, so 8 centimeter radius. No, actually that's maybe a lot. Don't forget it's a radius, so the diameter is going to be double that. And I can put it here under this first corner. Are we there? Not at all. Okay, so first let's change the position of our board. So it's going to be at 0, 0, 0. However, I'm going to put this a bit higher, so yeah, probably about 70 centimeter, like the height of the foot. So here, this I can rename this as a leg, like this. The box is going to be the board. And what I can do is I can add this leg as a child node of my board. So now instead of adding to the root node, I've added to a node I previously created, which is the board. Which means that now the position of this leg is relative to this board. So you can see now that if I put this at 0, it's going to be centered with the board here. So what I need to do is to drag this down, but only halfway, so about 35 centimeter, which is half of the 70 centimeter height. So 35. And if I look from above, I am pretty much in the corner. Okay, good. So let's just add some materials. The board can be this color and the legs can be black, like this. Also, what we can do to make it the board a bit nicer is to change the chamfer radius. So here we can change this to 0.2. Well, we can go as far as we want. It's not going to go above whatever it can support. And then here we have one leg. What I want to show you is how to create another leg based on this one. So we can drag from the axis here, but if you hold the Option key and drag, you will be able to create another one and then release. So now we've cloned basically our leg. Let's put it at the same level inside of the board. And now if I select both, and same again, hold the Option key and drag. Now I dragged both legs all the way, a bit too much actually, so let's just drag this back here, okay, and I'm going to put them at the same level as all of them. There we go. And this is pretty much our table done. So remember that let's now put the table, so the board inside of our table, and we have just one node, which is our table. And you can see how the origin here is at the base of it. So this also happens to be the origin of our scene, and when we launch, actually is going to look like this. We have the Z position towards us. So I'm going to put the table a bit further and a bit lower. So I estimate the phone to be about 1 meter and 20 centimeters above the ground when we launch the app. So I need this to be at minus 1.2 basically. So it looks like it's going to be on the floor when I launch the app. Let's try it. Okay, so here we go. Yeah, it doesn't really look like it's on the floor. So a dirty trick is to pause the session, lower your phone from, about 20 centimeters, and then go back in there. So that should have changed now. And yeah, it looks like it's on the floor.